Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your 2026 Astroclock. I am super excited to be doing this again. I'm all smiles and really looking forward to what the year brings. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Leila, the Lenormand Reader, and I use the amazing Lenormand deck. And what we are doing today is the once a year annual forecast that I do with the amazing Astroclock layout. As you're going to see, this is a large spread that uses all 36 cards of the deck, and I organize the cards in 12 groups of 3 months, which correspond to the 12 months of the year. So, Gemini, are you ready for us to do your Astroclock? I am. Let's go ahead and deal out your cards, and then I'll talk more about the Astroclock, and then we'll get into your month to month. Okay, Gemini, here is your Astroclock. As you see, I'm still trying to arrange the cards so it looks okay and looks reasonably symmetrical. It's a little bit messy. We have all 36 cards, as you can see, and we've got our 12 groups of 3 cards. So you might have noticed that I start dealing out the cards at midnight here, but I actually start reading at 1 o'clock, which is January, and then we go around the clock clockwise all the way up to December 2026. So it's a lot to read, but you'll see it's quite straightforward, and that's really because there are just 3 cards to read per month. So triplets are easy to read. And before we get into the month-to-month detail, I like to get an overview of the Astroclock. I like to orient myself, sort of pick out the main challenges, the main positive cards, relationships, and things like that. So we have the whip here in February, but it is helped with the flowers, so this is not going to be too challenging. We have a beginning here with the child in March, and it's looking all pretty even. We have a focus on relationships here. Between September and November, we have the man, the woman, and the ring, along with the house and garden. So it sounds like this is going to be a focus on relationships. June is looking bright with the clover and key. The star is with the child and next to the whip. So this is going to help absorb the challenges of the whip. And it's looking pretty even all throughout. So I'm really just picking out relationships that stand out here, a new beginning here. And the challenging cards are mostly absorbed by positive cards, like the star, like the flowers with the whip, like the key with the mouse, the sun with the clouds. So this is really going to minimize their impact. The snake is a little bit challenging, but it might not necessarily be as difficult as it can be. So let's get into the month to month. Starting with January here, Gemini, we have the book Fox and Stork. And this is probably something that comes to your knowledge, a revelation of sorts. And that's because the stork is a card of change, so it's very outward, but it comes in contrast with the book and fox, which are silent, secret cards. And so what you were waiting on to come through comes through. If you were waiting yourself to express something, you're able to in January. And it is also a combination for a job change or something in relation to work, because the fox is a card of jobs. So it can be a tricky card that points to someone deceptive, but if that's the case, you're going to figure them out. And it is also a card of jobs, which is great for changes here. I have to also add, Gemini, that the book and fox might suggest learning or being a student or picking up a skill. And if that's what you're inclined to do, then it's looking good. You know, it's looking good for being active. So this is going to be an opportunity to come out or to express and to make changes. Now, we have the whip in February between the flowers and the mountain. And the whip and mountain can be a challenge. Actually, Gemini, it can point to a blockage and obstacles. The flowers, though, is a lovely card. It is an optimism card, a card of joy and happiness and success. So it's going to help reduce the impact of the whip and mountain. And it sounds like you're going to have a good attitude as well. Now, the mountain can also represent a location abroad. So if you are looking at travel or going places, it might not be the best of times because of the whip, Gemini. Instead, be creative and do something else with your time for the time being. And if you're not aware, Gemini, we take all of these cards month by month, and we do the monthly forecasts based on them. So when we get to January, February, and all of the months, we're going to have these cards on hand, and we're going to draw our portraits on top of them. It's been portraits for a few years. Every time I ask if you want me to change the layout, I get a no, like the portrait gets the most votes. I might run another survey, but for now, I think it's going to be portraits. Okay, moving on to March, we have the star with the child and dog. This is lovely for a new friendship, a new colleague, a new employee, a new relationship, because the dog is the card of friends and the child is about anything new. And the star is one of the brightest cards of the deck. So this is going to be lovely for a new friendship or new connections. The April cards, this is where we have the snake, we have the letters snake and cross. And this could be pretty significant in terms of news, communication, paperwork, maybe something administrative that you're working through. And the snake is quite tricky. It is more challenging than the fox, though they have things in common. They have sort of similar energies. The fox and snake are cards of deception, and the snake more so. Now, when we see the snake with the letter, it can point to misleading information or information that you need to handle discreetly. And with the cross, you might need to make some decisions. You might need to decide and weigh things out and see what you make of this news. You might also be wanting to share something or to express something, but I have to say that based on these cards, Gemini, April is not a good month for it. So again, we're going to take these cards in April and we're going to read more about what this is about and what the snake is about specifically. So here we are in May with the heart, road, and anchor. This is great for achieving a goal because we have the anchor on the other side of the road. So it's like you cross a journey, you cross a path, and you arrive at your destination. It could be physical, like you're traveling, going somewhere. It could also be metaphorical in the sense that you're pursuing an objective and you're going to achieve your goal. Obviously, the heart makes you happy, and that can feel really fulfilling. This is also a good message for settling on a specific path and avoiding, the experimentation at this point and making a choice. And the thing about the heart in here is that it guides you to follow your heart and also move forward and focus and commit to something that makes you happy. Now, in what context, we don't really see from these cards. When we come to draw them in May, we'll see if we get more indications about what the choices are about or what you're settling on and what is this path. And June, we have the Clover, Key, and Mouse. So the Clover Key are obviously very bright cards. The Key is a card of solution, of unlocking opportunities. It is great for a sense of resourcefulness. The Mouse is a little bit challenging, but the Key easily overcomes it. So this is a month when you can successfully problem solve, and find answers and find solutions, and this helps you resolve any of these little issues that are still sticking out and that need to be resolved. We're not seeing people cards. Really, so far, we've seen the dog. And here, there's some communication. In June, we're not seeing people cards. So it sounds like the issues are not necessarily with people, but they can be. Again, when we do the detailed monthly, we'll see what else we get about them. But definitely focus on your sense of solutions and your optimism to find solutions. And, take this opportunity to clear up these little things in your life. And in July, we have the Scythe with the fish and bear. The fish and bear is great for wealth, by the way. This is a combination of wealth and income. And the Scythe is interesting here. It could play a double role. It could either suggest a severance or a breakaway from maybe a job or a business or a source of income, or you could get a breakthrough and make it. as it were. You could get a major opportunity that could be really good financially. The thing about the scythe is that it encourages you to make changes, and it also encourages you to be decisive. So it's looking good for wealth, but the scythe, it's interesting. It could play a double role. So when we get to July, we'll see what other details we get about this, this empowering month. And this is August with the Rider, Sun, and Clouds. Now, the Sun is a very bright card. It's one of the brightest cards of the deck, if not essentially the brightest, because it has this overarching energy. It's very optimistic. It covers a broad kind of scope. So it's really nice to see it. And with the Rider, you're definitely on your way to achieving your goals. The clouds on top of the Sun tends to cloudy things a little bit, just like they do in the sky. But there's always a silver lining. And the Sun is a lot more powerful than the clouds is challenging. So there might be some issues or thoughts or problems that come up to muddy your optimism a little bit. It could slow you down. It could cause you to rethink certain things. But in general, Gemini, you're definitely on course. So take these in stride and focus on clarifying them and finding solutions. And this is September with the Tower, Woman, and Bird. This brings into focus a person, and the Tower can suggest a few things. It can mean that she's older, or that she's a consultant or someone specialized, an expert of sorts. She could also represent someone like a boss or a manager, people at the top. And the Bird clearly points to a conversation or several. So this is a month when you need to focus on this person, Gemini, and make sure you are in conversation with her. What the goal of this is, we don't really see in the cards. It can be for the purpose of work or for the purpose of law, admin, and things like that. So you'll need to follow up, and you'll need to be in conversation throughout. Moving on to October, we have the Garden, Ring, and House. This is great for relationships. It's great for socializing, for connecting with people close to you and in the bigger community. This is definitely a social month. It brings both the bigger, broader community through the Garden and more intimate relationships through the Ring and House. So you're going to be focused on others. It can sort of build on the previous month here in September, but these cards, Gemini, are warm and close and intimate, whereas these cards are a bit more professional, more distant. So I don't think it's the same quality of relationships that we're seeing here. But October is definitely a month for connecting with others, being with people, investing in people, and, spending time with your community and people around you. And then in November, we have the Man with the Coffin and Tree, and this brings into focus a specific person. There's an opposite energy here. We have the Coffin and Tree, and this is pointing either to an ending, but I think it's more of a time apart, because the Tree is a slower card. It's a card of patience. And the Coffin can be either. It could be an ending, or it could be things being on hold. So I feel this person is going to be away, or you're going to be away from each other. It's definitely a good idea to slow things down in the relationship, to give space, and to, let them go, let them do their thing while you do yours. Now, I don't know if this is a romantic relationship or something else. It can apply really in any context. And again, when we get to November, I will cover these. And we wrap up with December, the Lily with the Moon and Ship. This is a great combination for moving ahead with your projects. It sounds like you're on a stable footing. You know where you're heading. You know what you're doing. There's like a quiet shine and happiness and fulfillment that we see in these cards. You're on the right track. I would say across all areas, your lifestyle, your life direction, your work, your project. This is also potentially a combination for travel. You could be making deeper lifestyle changes. Maybe you're exploring a different location through travel, or at least you're extending your reach. So these are nice cards. They're a nice confirmation of being on the right track for you, where your life is under control, things are predictable, and you're feeling fulfilled with the direction that your life is taking. So overall, Gemini, it's looking like a pretty good year. We have a few points where things get a bit tough, but they're mainly here. It's mainly February. And everything else looks to be quite exciting. April is, I've got a question mark about the snake. Like, I'm looking forward to April. And we have an exciting beginning here. The people element looks to be peaceful. We have new friends in March. We have really close connections here, and you're in good communication here. And with the November cards, like, you're giving each other space. So there's lots of easy and smooth cards when it comes to relationships. You're also in a position to solve problems this year. We've got your creative element here. We've got a clever element in January. We've got the beautiful key in June. So there's a few messages that suggest that you could put your creative mind and your resources and your intelligence towards solving these issues and really ironing out whatever is still sticking out. There's positive achievement. You could be really on the right track to being on the right track. Really, this is lovely. July is going to be interesting. This is a potentially big month. Here, there could be like a big step forward with these striking energies through the scythe and bear around the fish, which is a card of money. Oh, and here's another really good message for having a positive attitude towards any issues and solving them. So overall, Gemini, it's looking like an easygoing year. We have a focus on relationships around the end of the year, and then everything else is sort of evenly distributed in the Astroclock. So let me know what you make of these cards. Are you starting to envision your year? Are you starting to see things that could make sense and that could align with the way the year unfolds? Let me know in the comments. And like I said, we use these individual groups of threes as a basis for our monthly forecast. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope you will stick with me in the coming forecasts, and do like, share, and subscribe, and share this with others so that they're aware of this beautiful, beautiful spread called the Astroclock. So very best of luck with 2026, Gemini. Thank you as always for tuning in, and I am looking forward to kicking off our monthly forecasts with you. Until next time, thank you again, and take very good care of yourself.